Good evening, and welcome to your mythical time. I am your story guide for tonight, here to accompany you into the ancient and profound world of prophecy in this quiet evening. At your myth time, we believe that every ancient myth carries the emotional codes of modern people. Tonight, let us enter a story about truth and solitude, Cassandra's Night of Prophecy. This is a deep exploration of how to hold on to the authentic voice within in our information-saturated age. If you enjoy such bedtime stories, please subscribe to our channel so that more warm nights can have our companionship. Now, let us return to the city of Troy 3,000 years ago. It was a twilight hour when the setting sun cast blood-red light upon the towering city walls and the sea breeze carried the salty scent through the stone-paved streets. In this great city, praised as the unconquerable, you are about to become Princess Cassandra, the most beautiful daughter of King Priam, experiencing a lonely journey of foreseeing truth yet finding no believers. You stand on the high platform of Apollo's temple, overlooking the entire city of Troy. The setting sun bathes every stone of the city walls in golden light, while the distant Aegean Sea sparkles like countless scattered diamonds dancing on the water's surface. Within the city, cooking smoke rises gently, and the calls of merchants, children's laughter, and the clip-clop of horse hooves weave together into a symphony of life. This is your home, this immortal city praised by poets. The walls rise 10 meters high, built from massive stone blocks, each carefully carved and gleaming warmly in the sunset. The gate towers soar into the clouds, with Troy's guardian gods carved on the lintels, watching over this land with majesty and benevolence. You are Cassandra, daughter of King Priam, one of Troy's most beautiful princesses. Your hair is as dark as the night sky, always bound in an elegant chignon with golden ribbons, with a few playful strands falling beside your ears. Your eyes are deep brown, like autumn amber, clear and profound, as if they could see through human hearts. Your skin is ivory white, glowing with health under the Mediterranean sun. You prefer to wear white linen robes, cinched at the waist with golden belts, embroidered with exquisite olive branch patterns, symbols of wisdom and peace. Your movements are graceful and dignified. Your robes swing softly as you walk, like white sails upon the sea. As a priestess of Apollo's temple, your day begins with dawn prayers. You light the frankincense in the brazier when the first rays of sunlight enter the temple, its gentle fragrance permeating the entire sanctuary. You kneel before Apollo's statue, that figure carved from white marble appearing especially sacred in the morning light, the god's face handsome and majestic, holding a golden lyre symbolizing light and prophecy. Your voice is clear as silver bells. When you chant the prayers, the entire temple resonates with your voice. Apollo, god of light, grant us wisdom and strength. Let us find our way forward in darkness. Your prayers are always so devout, so pure. In the morning hours, you help other priests organize the sacred objects in the temple. Those golden chalices, silver censers, ivory carved statues, each requires careful cleaning and maintenance. Your fingers are slender and nimble, always polishing these sacred objects until they shine like new. At midday, you return to the palace to dine with your family. The palace dining hall is spacious and bright, the long oak table laden with abundant food, roasted lamb, fresh bread, olives, wine, and fresh fish brought from the seaside. Your father, King Priam, sits at the head of the table. Past 60, his graying beard is neatly trimmed, his deep eyes radiating wisdom and kindness. He always asks about your life in the temple with concern. My little Cassandra, was everything well at the temple today? Your mother, Queen Hecuba, sits beside your father, elegant and gentle, always watching you with loving eyes. She serves you food, reminding you to eat more. You look thinner again, child. You must eat more to stay healthy. Your brothers sit around the table. Handsome Hector is always so mature and steady. He is Troy's greatest warrior and your most beloved elder brother. Paris is younger and more handsome, his eyes always sparkling with the light of adventure. You discuss news from the city, upcoming festival celebrations, sharing your experiences and feelings with each other. In the afternoon, you enjoy walking alone in the temple garden. It's filled with various flowers, roses, jasmine, lavender, their fragrances especially rich in the afternoon sunlight. You sit on stone benches, watching butterflies dance among the flowers, listening to birds singing in the branches. At these moments, your heart is filled with tranquility and contentment. You feel you are the happiest person in the world, with family who love you, sacred duties, and a beautiful homeland. You believe life will continue to be this wonderful, that Troy will prosper forever, that you will spend your life in this peace. You occasionally imagine your future life, perhaps marrying a handsome prince, bearing lovely children, continuing to live in this beautiful city. Your dreams are simple and pure, as clear and transparent as your current state of mind. In the evening, you return to the temple to pray for the approaching night. You light the oil lamps in the temple, their warm glow dispelling the evening shadows. You kneel before Apollo's statue, thanking the god for granting you such a beautiful day, praying for his continued protection of you and your family. However, you do not know that tonight your life is about to change dramatically. Night has fallen, and you are alone in the temple. Moonlight streams through the tall stone columns into the temple, casting dappled shadows on the floor. You are about to extinguish the last oil lamp when suddenly, the entire temple begins to tremble slightly. At first, you think it's an earthquake, but soon you realize something is wrong. This trembling has a strange rhythm, like some mysterious heartbeat. Apollo's statue begins to emit a faint golden light, growing brighter and brighter until it illuminates the entire temple. You step back in terror, only to find your feet seem nailed to the ground, unable to move. The statue's eyes begin to turn, looking directly at you. that gaze containing both divine majesty and some complex emotion you cannot understand. Cassandra. A voice echoes through the temple, like heavenly music, yet carrying undeniable authority. You know it is Apollo's voice. In the golden light, Apollo's figure gradually appears. He is more handsome than the statue, his golden hair shining like sunlight, his deep blue eyes as profound as the ocean. He wears white robes, holding a golden lyre, every movement as graceful as a work of art. Beautiful Cassandra. Apollo's voice is gentle yet passionate. I have been watching you for a long time. Your purity, your devotion, your beauty, all deeply attract me. I want you to become my lover, to share eternal glory with me. Your heart beats rapidly, both excited and fearful. A god is declaring his love to you. What an incredible thing. You look at Apollo's handsome face, feel the sacred radiance emanating from him, your heart filled with complex emotions. In return, Apollo continues, I will grant you the power of prophecy. You will be able to see the future, know everything that is about to happen. This is power that only gods possess, and I am willing to share it with you. He extends his hand, and a golden orb of light appears in his palm, containing infinite knowledge and power. Accept my gift, Cassandra. Become my lover and gain the divine power to foresee the future. You gaze at that golden orb, your heart engaged in fierce struggle. On one hand, you are attracted by Apollo's handsomeness and divine power, and the ability to prophesy moves you. Imagine being able to foresee the future, helping people avoid disasters. How meaningful that would be. But on the other hand, a voice deep within warns you. You remember those legends about gods and mortals falling in love. Those stories rarely have happy endings. Gods are eternal while mortals age and die. Gods are omnipotent while mortals are fragile and helpless. Can such love truly bring happiness? More importantly, you sense a possessive desire in Apollo's eyes. The way he looks at you is not like looking at an independent being, but like looking at a beautiful collectible. You realize that if you accept his gift, you might never be yourself again. I need time to consider, you say tremblingly. Apollo's expression instantly darkens. Consider? No mortal refuses a god's blessing. Cassandra, don't you understand what this means? I'm offering you the chance for immortality, but I don't want this kind of immortality, you gather courage to say. What I want is true love, not a transaction. I want the freedom to choose, not forced acceptance. Apollo's face completely changes. The god's anger sweeps through the entire temple like a storm. Stone columns begin to shake violently. Cracks appear in the floor. His eyes burn with golden flames, his voice thundering through the temple. Foolish mortal, you dare refuse me, he roars. Since you won't accept my love, then accept my curse. He waves his arm, and that golden orb flies toward you. Before you can dodge, it crashes into your chest. A tremendous force surges into your body. Your head feels like it's splitting, as if countless voices are screaming in your mind. I will indeed give you the power of prophecy. Apollo laughs maliciously. You will be able to see all truths, foresee all disasters, but no one will believe you. Every prophecy you speak, though true, no one will trust. You will watch disasters approach in loneliness, yet be powerless to stop them. You collapse to the ground in agony, feeling that divine power rampaging within your body. Images begin appearing before your eyes. War, death, destruction, betrayal, countless terrible future fragments flooding in like a tide. When the pain slightly subsides, you struggle to stand. Apollo has vanished. The temple has returned to its usual tranquility, as if everything just now was an illusion. But you know it wasn't an illusion, because you can feel that strange power flowing within you. Suddenly, a clear image appears before your eyes. A giant wooden horse being pushed into Troy, the city gates wide open, filled with cheers and laughter. But inside the horse's belly, you see fully armed Greek soldiers, their eyes gleaming with murderous intent. You see Troy burning in a sea of fire, see your father fallen in a pool of blood, see your mother dragged away by enemies, see your brothers falling one by one. You see yourself captured by the Greeks, becoming spoils of war, eventually dying in a foreign land. No, you scream, trying to dispel these terrible images. But they are so clear, so real. You know this is the future that awaits. You stumble out of the temple, rushing toward the palace. You must tell your father, tell everyone that Troy is about to face great danger. You must prevent this disaster. You burst into the palace hall, where your father is discussing state affairs with several ministers. Seeing your panicked appearance, he stands up with concern. Cassandra, what happened? You look terrible. Father, you grab his arm urgently. I saw it. I saw Troy's destruction. The Greeks will use a giant wooden horse to breach our city. We will all die. The hall falls silent. Your father and the ministers look at each other, all showing confusion and concern. Child, what are you saying? Your father says gently. Greeks? A wooden horse? What do these mean? Did you have a nightmare? It's not a nightmare. You shake your head desperately. This is real. I saw the future. Father, you must believe me. We must strengthen our defenses. Never let any wooden horse enter the city. But you see doubt in your father's eyes. He gently strokes your hair, speaking in a tone used to comfort children. Cassandra, you're too tired. Go back and rest well. Everything will be fine tomorrow. Father, please believe me. You cry desperately, but no one listens to you. The ministers whisper among themselves. You hear them discussing whether you've suffered some shock, whether a doctor should be called. You realize that Apollo's curse has already begun to take effect. No matter what you say, no matter how accurate your prophecies, no one will believe you. Returning to your room, you sit by the window, gazing at the stars in the night sky. The moon has moved westward, the night grown deeper. Your heart is filled with unprecedented loneliness, not because no one is around, but because no one can understand you. You begin to recall your entire life. From childhood, you've lived surrounded by everyone's love, never experiencing true loneliness. Your parents cherish you. Your siblings care for you. The temple priests respect you. The city's people revere you. You thought this was all there was to life. Thought being understood and believed was natural. But now you understand that when you possess abilities others don't have, when you see truths others cannot see, you are destined to bear loneliness others cannot comprehend. This loneliness isn't physical solitude, but spiritual isolation. There's an invisible wall between you and the entire world, and that wall is called truth. In the following days, you continuously see various prophetic visions. You see a merchant in the city about to go bankrupt. See a neighbor's child who will drown by the river. See an old priest in the temple who will die in 3 days. Each prophecy is so clear, so certain, like facts you've witnessed firsthand. But when you try to warn the relevant people, they all treat you as mad. Princess Cassandra, have you been too tired lately? The merchant smiles politely. My business is doing well. How could I go bankrupt? Your Highness, you're so amusing, the child's mother says lightly. My son swims very well. There's no danger. Child, you're overthinking, the old priest pats your shoulder kindly. I'm in good health. I can live another 10 years. However, everything happens exactly as you prophesied. The merchant goes bankrupt, the child drowns, the old priest dies. When these things occur, people look at you in amazement, but they're not amazed because they believe in your prophetic ability. They attribute these coincidences to luck or chance. Gradually, various rumors about you begin circulating in the city. Some say you're possessed by evil spirits. Others say you've learned black magic. Still others say you've gone insane. Princess Cassandra has been strange lately, always saying incomprehensible things. Yes, she said my cow would die, and it really did. So frightening. She must be cursed. We'd better stay away from her. When you hear these discussions, your heart feels like it's being cut by knives. You desperately try to explain, to make people understand you only want to help them. But the more you explain, the more they fear you. You begin to understand that sometimes truth is more frightening than lies, because people prefer to believe beautiful lies rather than cruel truths. What pains you most is the subtle change in your family's attitude. Initially, they only worry about your health, thinking you might be overworked. But as your strange behavior increases, they begin to feel confused and uneasy. Your father starts avoiding being alone with you, always having others present when you meet. There's a hint of unfamiliarity in his eyes, as if you're no longer the daughter he knows. Your mother becomes overly concerned about your diet and sleep, constantly asking if you feel unwell, if you need to see a doctor. Her care carries a cautiousness, as if you're a fragile vase. Your brother's attitudes are more complex. Hector tries to maintain understanding and support, but you can see the confusion in his eyes. Paris begins to avoid you, seemingly feeling uncomfortable in your presence. In this isolation, you begin to think deeply about your situation. You realize you're facing not just an ancient princess's troubles, but an eternal human problem. When someone sees truths others cannot see, how should they conduct themselves? You think of those in history who persisted in truth yet were persecuted. Did they also experience such loneliness? Did they also doubt themselves? How did they persist in the face of others' misunderstanding? You begin to understand that the burden of truth isn't just knowing what will happen, but bearing the pain of knowing the truth, yet being unable to change reality. This pain is more cruel than ignorance, because the ignorant at least have hope, while you clearly know hope's illusory nature. You begin to question your identity. Are you still that princess who prayed devoutly in the temple? Are you still that daughter beloved by family? Are you still that respected priestess? Now you seem to have become something between God and mortal. You possess divine abilities, yet still have mortal emotions and needs. You can see the future, yet cannot change it. You know the truth, yet cannot make others believe. This identity ambiguity fills you with deep confusion. You don't know how to position yourself, don't know your place in this world. You neither completely belong to the divine world, nor completely belong to the mortal world anymore. In this lonely contemplation, you begin to gain deeper understanding of human nature. You discover that people don't believe your prophecies, not only because of Apollo's curse, but because of human nature's own limitations. People are accustomed to believing what they want to believe, not what is real. They'd rather live in beautiful fantasies than face cruel reality. This isn't because they're stupid, but because it's humanity's instinctive mechanism for protecting psychological health. You also begin to understand why the God gave you such a curse. This isn't just punishment for refusing him, but a revelation of human weakness. Apollo wanted you to understand that truth isn't always welcome, that wisdom sometimes is a burden rather than a blessing. However, in this profound pain, you also feel an unprecedented strength sprouting deep within your heart. It's a power that transcends the need to be understood and believed, a courage to persist in truth even in loneliness. You begin to understand that perhaps your mission isn't to be believed, but to record truth, to witness history. Even if no one listens to your prophecies, even if no one understands your pain, you must still fulfill your duty, because truth itself has value that doesn't need others' recognition to prove. This realization gives you a sense of tragic beauty. You're like a lonely night watchman, guarding truth's torch in darkness. Even if no one sees this light, you must keep it burning. Several months later, on a clear morning, while conducting daily prayers in the temple, you suddenly see a new prophetic vision. Your brother Paris standing on a ship's deck. Beside him, a woman of breathtaking beauty. That woman has golden hair and ocean blue eyes. She is Helen, Queen of Sparta. You see love's fire burning in Paris's eyes, while Helen's eyes flicker with complex emotions, both longing for new life and fear of unknown fate. You also see more terrible images, Because of this woman's arrival, 1,000 ships will cross the sea. 10 years of war are about to begin. No, you cry out, awakening from the prophecy. Paris cannot bring her back. Absolutely not. You rush toward the harbor, hoping to prevent this disaster before they land. But when you arrive breathlessly at the port, Paris's ship has already docked. You see that legendary beauty, Helen. She is indeed intoxicatingly beautiful. No wonder she's called the face that launched 1,000 ships. Paris, you rush toward your brother. You cannot bring her back. She will bring destruction to Troy. Paris looks at you with a complex expression when he sees you. He's obviously heard rumors about your recent abnormal behavior. Cassandra, what nonsense are you speaking again? Helen is my beloved. We truly love each other. Listen to me. You grab Paris's arm, tears filling your eyes. Because of her, Greek allied forces will attack Troy. I saw countless warships, saw our city burning in flames. Father will die. Hector will die. You will die too. Everyone will die. The gathering crowd begins to whisper. Some shake their heads sympathetically. Others show fearful expressions. Helen grips Paris's hand tightly. Though she doesn't fully understand what you're saying, she can feel the despair and fear in your words. Enough, Cassandra. Paris says somewhat angrily. You cannot curse my love because of your sick imagination. Helen is the most important person in my life. I will never let anyone harm her. News quickly reaches the palace. That evening, royal family members gather in the hall to discuss this matter. You sit in a corner, watching your family argue heatedly about Paris's actions and possible consequences. Paris, do you know what you've done? Hector says seriously. Helen is Sparta's queen. Acting this way is equivalent to provoking all of Greece. I love her, and she loves me, Paris retorts excitedly. Must love consider political consequences? Of course it must. Hector's voice becomes more severe. You are a prince of Troy. Your every action concerns the entire nation's safety. King Priam sits on his throne, silently listening to his son's argument. His face is full of worry, obviously already aware of this matter's seriousness. Father, you suddenly stand up. Please listen to me. I saw the future. The Greeks will wage war because of Helen. We must make Paris send her back, or Troy will be destroyed. The hall instantly quiets. Everyone looks at you. Their expressions varied. Sympathy, doubt, fear, and annoyance. Cassandra, your father says wearily, I understand your concern, but you cannot always use these fantasies to interfere with our decisions. This isn't fantasy, you cry desperately. I saw it. I saw Hector die at Achilles' hands, saw Paris killed by a poisoned arrow, saw you fallen in a pool of blood. I saw Troy's walls collapse, saw our people massacred. Your words pierce everyone present like swords. Hector's face pales. Paris glares at you angrily. Your mother covers her face in pain. Enough, your father finally explodes. Cassandra, I forbid you to speak such inauspicious words again. You are my daughter, but but you cannot use these curses to hurt your family. I'm not cursing, I'm warning, you cry. I want to save you, save Troy. Why won't you believe me? Because what you say is madness, Paris says angrily. No one would wage 10 years of war for one woman. No one would pay such enormous cost to reclaim a wife who no longer loves them. But you know he's wrong. You saw the anger and humiliation in Menelaus's eyes, saw the ambition and greed in Agamemnon's eyes. This war isn't just for Helen, but for power, honor, and wealth. From now on, your father says heavily, Cassandra may not participate in any political discussions. She needs rest, needs treatment. You feel your heart turn to ash. Even your closest family doesn't believe you. Who else can you count on? A few days later, Greek envoys arrive in Troy, demanding Helen's return. As you foresaw, negotiations break down. Paris refuses to surrender Helen, while the Greeks issue threats of war. You make one final effort. You come to the city walls, shouting to the people gathered in the square below. People of Troy, listen to me. War is coming. The Greeks will besiege our city for 10 years. Our warriors will fall one by one. Our children will starve in their mother's arms. The walls will collapse. Houses will burn. We will all die. The crowd looks up at you, some showing fearful expressions, but more just shake their heads and sigh. They regard you as a pitiful madwoman, deaf to your words. Please believe me, you cry desperately. I'm not mad. I see the truth. I beg you, leave this city while there's still time. But no one listens to you. People disperse, leaving you alone on the city walls, facing the approaching dark fate. That night, you sit alone in the temple, gazing at Apollo's statue. Moonlight streams through the stone columns onto the statue, that handsome face appearing especially cold in the shadows. Are you satisfied? You say to the statue. Your curse succeeded. No one believes me. No one listens to me. I can only watch helplessly as disaster approaches, powerless to stop it. But in this moment, you suddenly understand something. You stand up, walk to the statue, looking directly into those stone-carved eyes. But your voice becomes firm. I will not give up because of this. Even if no one believes me, even if I cannot change anything, I will still speak the truth, because truth itself has value, needing no one's recognition. You feel something burning deep in your heart, a power that transcends fear and despair. You realize your mission isn't to be believed, but to witness truth, to record history. I am Cassandra, you declare to the statue. I am truth's guardian, history's witness. Even if the whole world doesn't believe me, I will persist until the final moment. In this moment, you complete your inner transformation. You are no longer that naive princess who yearned to be understood and believed, but a true prophet, lonely but strong, suffering but clear-minded. As you prophesied, Greek allied forces cross the sea, and the Trojan War begins. 10 years of siege, 10 years of battle, 10 years of pain. You watch helplessly as each of your prophecies becomes reality. Hector dies in his duel with Achilles, exactly as you saw. When his body is dragged behind a chariot around the city 3 times, your heart feels like it's being cut by knives, but you don't cry. You know, crying cannot change anything. You just stand quietly on the city walls, witnessing it all. Paris is killed by a poisoned arrow, also as you foresaw. When he falls into Helen's arms, you see regret and despair in Helen's eyes. She finally understands what disaster her beauty has brought to 2 peoples. People in the city begin to starve, exactly as you prophesied. Food becomes scarcer, children grow skeletal, elders die one by one. But even in these circumstances, no one comes to ask your opinion. No one wants to hear your prophecies. In the 10th year of war, you see that decisive prophetic vision appear again, a giant wooden horse being pushed to Troy's gates. You rush to the city walls, shouting to the soldiers below, preparing to open the gates. Don't open the gates, it's a trap. There are Greek soldiers hidden inside the horse. But no one listens to you. The soldiers look at you with annoyance and helplessness. An old soldier shakes his head, saying, "Princess Cassandra is at it again. 10 years she's been saying these strange things." "This time is different," you shout desperately. "I saw it. Inside the horse's belly are Neoptolemus, Achilles' son, and Odysseus. They'll come out at night and attack our city from within. But your words are like fallen leaves in the wind. No one cares." The city gates slowly open. That giant wooden horse is pushed into the city. Trojans surround the horse, cheering and celebrating the war's end, celebrating victory's arrival. You watch all this, your heart filled with despair. You know tonight is Troy's doomsday, but you cannot prevent anything. Night falls. Troy is immersed in victorious celebration. People drink and sing, celebrating the Greeks' retreat. But you know this is the calm before the storm. You stand at the temple's highest point, overlooking the entire city. Under moonlight, that wooden horse stands quietly in the central square, like a giant tombstone. You can feel the tension and excitement of those Greek soldiers inside the horse. They're waiting for the signal to act. At midnight, exactly as you foresaw, the horse's belly opens, and fully armed Greek soldiers silently crawl out. They scatter to various corners of the city, opening the gates for the army outside. You watch all this happen, your heart strangely calm. This calm isn't from numbness, but because you've completely accepted your mission. You're not here to change history, you're here to witness it. Flames begin rising in various corners of the city. Greek soldiers storm into sleeping Troy, beginning brutal slaughter. You hear terrified screams, see towering flames, smell the scent of blood. Your father Priam is killed by Neoptolemus at the altar, exactly as you foresaw. Your mother and other royal women are taken as slaves. The entire city burns in flames. Millennia of civilization turning to ash in one night. But in this enormous pain, you feel a strange relief, not because the suffering ends, but because you finally completed your mission. You witnessed truth, recorded history, even though no one believed you, even though you couldn't change anything. When Greek soldiers storm into the temple, preparing to capture you, you don't resist or flee. You stand quietly before Apollo's statue, no fear in your eyes, only deep calm. Are you that mad prophet Cassandra? A soldier asks roughly. I am Cassandra, you answer calmly. I am truth's witness. On the road to captivity, you look back at burning Troy, complex emotions rising in your heart. You think of all those throughout history who persisted in truth yet weren't understood. You think of scholars who insisted on scientific truth in dark ages, burned at stakes as heretics, but truth ultimately triumphed over ignorance. You think of warriors who persisted in justice under tyrannical rule, imprisoned and persecuted, but their spirit inspired later generations. You think of those in modern information-saturated society who persist in authenticity, struggling to spread truth in an ocean of false information, even when treated as outcasts, even when mocked. You realize your story isn't just an ancient myth, but an eternal human allegory. In any era, there will be people who see truths others cannot see, people isolated for persisting in truth. But it's precisely these people who advance human civilization. In this moment, you completely understand the deep meaning of Apollo's curse. This isn't just punishment, but a test. He wanted to see whether, when someone possesses truth but cannot make others believe, she would choose to give up or persist. And you chose to persist, even in loneliness, even in pain, even in despair. You still insisted on speaking truth. This persistence itself is a victory, a spiritual victory transcending success and failure. You understand that true power lies not in being believed, but in persisting in truth. True value lies not in changing the world, but in maintaining inner purity. True success lies not in gaining recognition, but in completing one's mission. I am Cassandra, you silently say in your heart. I saw truth, I spoke truth, I witnessed truth. That is enough. Though Troy is destroyed, though you've become a prisoner of war, you know your story will be passed down. Poets will sing of your courage, scholars will study your prophecies, future generations will draw wisdom from your experience. Your pain won't be in vain, your persistence won't be meaningless. At some moment in the future, someone will understand your loneliness, someone will appreciate your courage, someone will find strength to persist in truth from your story. This realization gives you final comfort. You are no longer a lonely prophet, but part of humanity's spiritual wealth. Though your life is filled with pain, it has eternal value. Dear friend, Cassandra's story ends here. This is a story about truth and loneliness, about persistence and courage. In this ancient myth, we see an eternal theme. When someone sees truths others cannot see, how should they conduct themselves? Cassandra chose persistence. Even when no one believed her, even when she couldn't change anything, she still insisted on speaking truth. This persistence itself is a victory, a spiritual victory transcending success and failure. In our modern lives, we often face similar dilemmas. Sometimes we see problems others cannot see. Sometimes we persist in principles others don't understand. Sometimes we walk alone in others' incomprehension. Cassandra's story tells us that true power lies not in being believed, but in persisting in truth. True value lies not in changing the world, but in maintaining inner purity. When we feel lonely for persisting in authenticity, please remember that this loneliness is noble. This persistence is meaningful. Everyone has a Cassandra within their heart, that self who sees truth yet isn't understood. When you feel lonely, when you feel no one understands you, please remember Cassandra's courage. She teaches us that even if the whole world doesn't believe you, you must believe in yourself. Even if no one understands you, you must persist in truth. Truth is sometimes lonely, but it is always valuable. Those who persist in authenticity may be misunderstood, but their spirit will illuminate the path for those who come after. Now, let us slowly return from this ancient story to reality. Let Cassandra's courage accompany you into dreams. Let her persistence give you inner strength. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Feel the night's tranquility. Feel your heart's peace. You don't need to bear the pain of foreseeing the future like Cassandra, but you can learn her courage to persist in truth. Let your breathing become slow and deep. Let your body completely relax. In dreams, perhaps you'll meet that brave Trojan princess. Perhaps she'll tell you more secrets about truth and courage. Thank you for accompanying Cassandra through her life's journey on this night. If this story touched your heart, please share your feelings in the comments. If you enjoy such mythological sleep stories, please subscribe to our channel, letting more ancient wisdom accompany your nights. Next time, we will enter another profound mythological world, exploring another facet of human nature. Now, may Cassandra's courage accompany you. May truth's light illuminate your dreams. Good night. May you have a peaceful and beautiful evening.